Hey everybody, welcome to Shooting the with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today, I want to know what you think about fragmenting ammo. Now, I'm not talking frangible ammo, I'm talking fragmenting. Ammo that's designed to pedal off and go off in different directions when it hits the body. Frangible ammo just basically disintegrates, doesn't penetrate hard targets at all. Fragmenting is meant to spread out and do as much damage to as many organs as possible, etc. Doctors hate fragmenting ammo because you think you're taking care of the bullet wound and you can't figure out why they're still losing pressure. It's because a pedal shot off 8 inches to the left and nicked their kidneys or something. So they hate it. It's pretty gruesome stuff in some ways. And what I want to know is, do you think it's appropriate for self-defense or not? And if so, why? And if not, why? Is it too brutal? Is it just not effective? I'm going to go on record of saying I don't know how effective it actually is, to be honest. I'm more of a one big deep hole kind of guy. But from talking to doctors that I know who have dealt with gunshot wound victims in the emergency rooms, and I've known a few doctors, I'm in a medical family, I'm married into a medical family, they hate fragmenting ammo. They think it's brutal. They think that the only point of it is to kill somebody. So that kind of means it must be effective, must be doing its job. So I can't say for certain it's real effective, but according to what I hear from people who are medical professionals, it's pretty effective at putting someone down. Now, is it appropriate for self-defense? Well, that's a debate that I would love to have someone convince me one way or the other, because I kind of go back and forth. I do think it's a little too brutal. Because I think that if you ever ended up in court, it's going to be hard to say, especially if you choose something like R.I.P ammo, which I would have bought when it first came out if you hadn't have named it R.I.P. Me and him fought about this a couple of times once at SHOT Show. He's like, oh, that's not what it stands for. It doesn't stand for rest in peace. I'm like, you knew what people were going to think when you named it that. And I don't want to be in front of a jury saying I was using R.I.P ammo. Now, however, if someone made it to where you needed to shoot to defend your life, and your goal was to stop them, well, killing them is a way to stop them. And if they were willing to harm you, well, then you're willing to harm them. So I don't like the whole liability thing, and I don't know how much of a liability it would be in court, but it'd be something I wouldn't want to have to deal with. Like I said, if they had named it something else, I probably would have tried it. I used Liberty. Liberty does that. It breaks off. The front part pedals off and breaks out. So I have used it before. But I don't know if it's the most appropriate ammo, and I don't know if it's better than just a good old solid copper round that just goes all the way through. But according to some experts, it's real good at stopping people. But I don't know if it's as good at stopping them as quickly, or if it's just more likely to take them down permanently. Love to hear your all's opinions on that. So let's get to the live chat here and see what anyone else has got to say. Sean Bain, not legal where I live. Can't comment. Well, you can comment. You just can't use it. Tim Allen, and he did comment actually there, I guess. Tim Allen says, now that I know exactly what kind of fragmentation ammo that you are referring to, I think that it runs the risk of not having enough penetration. That is something I worry about too. Apparently, they supposedly penetrate pretty deeply, but I just give me a good old solid copper round with a good temporary cavity, a good deep permanent cavity. I'm usually pretty happy with that. I would worry that it might not penetrate deep enough. But most of the ammo that does that, like Liberty, the petals break off pretty easily, and the back portion of the bullet keeps going, kind of like a wad cutter. It kind of becomes a wad cutter after it hits soft flesh. So, Mr. Furley could lead to legal troubles. I'll stick to HSTs. That's kind of like me. I'll stick to the proven and true. John M. Mandrick, the fact they made it to the emergency room makes me think it may not do enough damage to incapacitate quickly. I worry about that too, but you know, a lot of people get picked off the ground and taken to the emergency room. And a lot of people who suffer regular gunshot wounds make it to the emergency room too. But I would have to have some information on that aspect of it. Like, do more of them survive to make it to the emergency room if they get shot with fragmenting ammo, or do more of them die? You know, before they can get to the emergency room. Because if you like nick a kidney or your liver, like if a fragment goes up, nicks your liver, you bleed out before you get to an emergency room. Mike White says, no, they don't go deep enough. They even have something called glazer bullets, blue safety slug. Do you know of them? But isn't that that's a frangible bullet, isn't it? Edgar Cortez, I don't know. Edgar Cortez, I've heard of fragmentation ammo in certain military applications, but was not aware of civilian ability. It's for either rifles or handguns, so no opinion. What you knew of in the military was probably frangible ammo. Military can't use fragmenting ammo. It's verboten. It's against the rules. But they do use frangible ammo. Frangible ammo is ammo that as soon as it hits any kind of resistance whatsoever, it pretty much breaks apart. That way, if it goes through something and goes through that, it ain't going to make much damage. It's meant to be a safety round. And that way, if military's shooting at targets and all this other stuff, they don't have to worry about ricochets during live fire exercises. They don't have to worry about overpenetrations causing trouble downrange from where they're shooting at. That's why they use frangible ammo. It makes live fire exercises safer. My dad was in ammunitions when he was in the military, and that's the reason I know that. It's only because he was in an ammunition specialist in the Army. But that's frangible that the military uses. Militaries can't use fragmenting. I think it's illegal everywhere. Gummy Wuzzle, I saw a tools and target video on federal frag ammo. The blue tips are pretty, but I don't see anything to sell me on it. It's cool. See, someone again mentioned the blue tips. I don't know. Are those actual frag ammos or frag ammo or the frangible ammo? Because I've seen the frangibles, the safeties. So I don't know which ones y'all are talking about, actually. It's cool, but better? Nah. John M. Mandrick chimed in and says, using R.I.P will not help with a jury. I worry about that too, even though it's something you shouldn't have to worry about, because if someone gives you excuse, either you were justified in shooting because they were a threat or you weren't. That's what I think should matter. If it's a good shoot, nothing else should really matter. No, yeah, it's not what kind of ammo you use. Like if I use a silver bullet, it shouldn't matter whether they're a werewolf or not. If I was justified in shooting. Evan James, who I do not think is related to Kevin James, but he does look a lot like him in that picture. I know Kevin James has a brother who's also a comedian, and I do believe he was on his TV show with him. A decade or so ago, I bought some of that R.I.P ammo, still sitting in the box. Seems a little gimmicky to me. I prefer a high quality hollow point. Most people like to stick to the tried and true, but you know, that a lot of us that do that, though, we miss out on good new stuff for a while. I've done that many times, so I try to be more open when I can. We got a couple more people weighing in here. We got Ghost Shadow. Yes, frag sent email 20-year-old frag slug. I'll look at that later when we get to emails. It's hard for me to share emails during this chat. But we'll look at that later during the after chat, which don't go anywhere, anybody, because we do an after chat right after this one. We don't stop. We just move on into the other one. We aren't done when I say we're done in a minute. Mikey D, any ammo can kill. Are you shooting to say hi? Maybe. You don't know. You don't know what the courtship routine is of the American redneck. I think a lot of them shoot at each other as a way of flirting. I remember he shot me in the leg, and now we got 4 children. 12 children. Ghost Shadow said, would triple-aught buckshot count as fragmenting? No, it's not. It's lead ball, and it's different. So no, that doesn't count. So you just wasted the last person weighing in with an irrelevant question. But he loves to do that. He just likes to throw things off at the end. So we end on a very clumsy note. But that looks like that's it for everybody weighing in today. I want to thank everyone who did become part of the video today. And you out there in YouTube land, what do you think? Is fragmenting ammo appropriate for self-defense? Yes, no, why? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you want to weigh in on any of these topics in person, come to our live chats. We do them every day at 6 p.m. Hope to see you in a chat soon. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.